we're checking out here the Wuben E3. That's awesome. This is not a flashlight. This is the Wuben ECL. Okay. That's interesting. And we got an extension here, so this is pretty cool. This is the Wuben mini flashlight battery extends, right? That's interesting. We'll check that out. All right, so let's see. What are we starting with first? We probably should take a look at what's in here, and then I'm sure this piece will make a lot more sense. We'll put this to the side for now, and let's check out the E3. And it does come with their 5-year warranty. All right, that's pretty cool. It's made in China, overseas, as you probably could imagine. Looks like we got turbo, high, medium, low, strobe, and SOS. All right, so that is pretty cool. I'll go ahead and hold this right here. You guys can pause the video if you want. All right, here we go. All right, box within a box. Keep opening this thing here until we get to the real deal. Here we go. We got the warranty, user manual, right? All that good stuff. And Mandarin, which is, of course, my second language. I bet you guys didn't know that. Just kidding. We got Español, right? Yo hablo español. So there we go. Got Spanish, and we got English, of course. So there we go. And let's see here. It says pull. All right. So I'm sure this is perhaps the battery, perhaps the cable, charging cable. Let's find out together, shall we? All right. Bam. Let's see. All right, we got a lanyard here, which is branded. Got the Wuben brand going on there. That's looking pretty sweet. We got some additional spare O-rings. That's awesome, right? If one of these goes missing on you at some point, you know exactly how painful it is to get the right measurement, and then you got to reach out to the OEM or brand and try to, you know, get them to send you just some spare ones. Where here you get them right in the package. There it is, just as I predicted. There's a charging cord, right? USB-C to regular USB, standard stuff. Let's keep making some room here. And at last, bam, here is the light. Let's take a look, right? Comes in a nice little housing, cut out just for it. You know it's gonna arrive nice, safe, and sound. But here we are, got the flashlight E3. This one got the 2 LEDs right there. So we'll do some comparisons here in just a moment. It says, please remove battery insulation sheet before using. All right, we might need to do that. So in order to get it to work, I'm gonna have to unscrew here, remove the isolation sheet, not insulation. Well, they call it insulation, but this is what they're talking about. So this prevents from contact happening, right, between the, you know, the actual battery. So you have fully charged brand new battery, right? That's what it looks like right there. Take a look. There's your model number, serial number, right? All that good stuff. All right, and it goes just like that, positive in first. A little diagram printed there, boom. Nice little spring there, and you screw it in. And I'm thinking, right, if you had a bigger battery, right, that's where this guy comes into play, right? But before we do that, let's just go ahead and get this thing turned on, right? So I can show you guys what this thing is all about, all right? So we'll get the lanyard and charging cable out of the way for now. And I got all kinds of studio lights turned on right now, so it's really bright in here. I'm gonna have to turn off some of them so you guys can see this thing in action. Got this pocket clip back here. Right, very small, easy to carry, EDC size. Here's your charging port right there for the USB-C. All right, and you can nice and seal it back up. Without further ado, it looks like the power button is right here. So, holy smokes, okay. I just blinded myself as I started this thing. Holy macaroni. All right, so one button on, one button off, double, right? Also gets you, I think, turbo mode. I think if you press and hold, there we go. If you press and hold, that's how you cycle through the different modes, right? So we got the low, I'm sure that's what that is. We got the medium, right? So low is 5 lumens, right? Medium is 150 lumens. Let's go to high. Okay, high is 400. And press and hold again. Okay, did I miss one? Low, medium, high. So let's get turbo then. Oh, there we go. All right, so turbo is a double click. All right, double click for turbo. Otherwise, you start in just low, press and hold medium, press and hold high, and then you circle back to low again. You want turbo, double click, bam. All right, so let's do this thing justice here. I'm gonna turn off some lights here in just a moment. Just want to check out the strobe. Is it 3 clicks? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. 3 clicks. And please, nobody with epilepsy, watch this part. You can skip ahead. But yeah, the strobe is pretty easy. Just triple click, and you're good to go. So, all right, guys, so I'm outside here with the E7, right? This is the low mode. All right, just gonna show you. Has a pretty good throw in the low mode. I press and hold for that medium. All right, so you can see it definitely comes alive there quite a bit. I'm gonna press and hold again. I think that is high. All right, pretty good, not too bad. It definitely makes it all the way back there to the fence. You know, light up some trees up there, right, and whatnot. That's pretty nice. and then back to low. If I double tap, bam, there's turbo, and it is daytime now. Take a look. That's pretty nice. Yeah, pretty good. You can actually again point at those trees over there, which is nice. Way past the fence here in my backyard. All right, looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. All right, so before we wrap up the video, I mean, we should probably do this part. All right, let's check out the extension. So I don't have obviously the bigger battery, but I'm thinking you could buy a bigger battery for this guy, and let's just see how that would work. There we go. So all right, you'll get a bigger battery. It wasn't included here in the box, and then you basically, again, with an O-ring, tighten this extension in here. Very straightforward stuff. Bam. Okay, maybe my OCD will drive me crazy if it doesn't line up properly, but you get the idea. And then you'll put the bigger battery, right, which obviously will take a lot more room. This one's just gonna wiggle in there. And then you still use the OG cap to close it off. So that is very nice. So talk about, you know, the ability to add an extension or make your light even more functional. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's even a head strap accessory for this one as well, where you could mount this on your head if you wanted to with their actual head strap, kind of, you know, hooks onto here. If not, I mean, you're still getting a much smaller package than a full-blown flashlight, if you would. So even with the extension there, as far as, you know, a bigger battery goes for a longer life, I mean, it's still pretty compact. So I'll do a quick side-by-side here. So again, there's the X0, the E3, right? Kind of gives you a ballpark how much more you're adding when adding the extension there for the bigger battery. So yeah, something to look into. Perhaps you actually use your flashlights more often, right? The, you know, included battery doesn't give you enough life, you know, after a charge, and you can't get to a charging situation soon enough. You know, typically I charge these at night, you know, while I'm sleeping, so they're ready to go the next day. And you need something a little longer here. And you need something that gives you a little bit more juice. There you go, right? There you got your cover. There you got the solution. Right, again, aluminum housing. It even matches the aesthetics and everything of the original E3 housing as well, which is, again, attention to detail, looking pretty cool. And by the way, there is a little lanyard solution hole here, in case I haven't already mentioned that, in the cap, which, again, they do include a very nice Wuben branded lanyard. Right, so if you want to do that, right, it's a very easy process. Loop it around, bam, boom, right? You're good to go. It looks something like this. So there you guys have it, right? That is the E3 from Wuben, right? Very interesting flashlight here, making a great first impression. Should probably close the lid here with the battery. Like, what the heck am I gonna do leaving the battery outside, Miguel? Like, come on, bro. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this one, right? You know, let me know what you like. Any feedback, comments, right? Any dislikes. All right, let's hang out in the comment section down there. Let me know what questions you have. Also, if you got value out of this video, definitely smash that like button. It is absolutely free. It does help the video reach a larger audience. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Either this one or this one. Peace.